YouTube. This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so let's talk about this. So, this fake GOAT debate, which pits a real all-time great in the GOAT discussion against a fake contender who's been pumped up by media steroids, as well as, in some people's eyes, real steroids, allegedly. This whole GOAT debate, anyway, was stolen from a real debate which started on social media approximately 20 years ago, reached its peak about 15 years ago, and was usurped by a false god when he benefited from a Game 5 suspension of his now great buddy Draymond Green in that playoff series, that final series, when he had the fortune, from the Cavaliers' perspective, of Andrew Bogut getting hurt, which totally changed the dynamics of that series going forth the last couple of games, and had the fortune of Harrison Barnes forgetting how to shoot the basketball beyond 10 feet. They were able to eke out a victory, most thankfully due to Kyrie Irving hitting the biggest shot in Cavaliers history, which the media wants you to forget and wants you to focus on that block. But anyway, it's gotten to the point now that this whole fake GOAT debate has become so entrenched in our culture that they're asking people who have no affiliation with sports whatsoever who they think is the GOAT, right? And what the media hopes is that the more they pump this fake narrative about LeBron being the GOAT, and the more minions that they can hire in media to pump out misinformation, hope for more and more people that watch Michael Jordan play to retire and be replaced by these minions, that can ultimately corrupt the minds of those who are paying attention to this slop and create a false impression of reality. But it still isn't working. This misinformation campaign, this disinformation campaign, whatever you want to call it, has been going on for over a decade now, or about a decade, and it still hasn't worked the way they thought it would. So recently on the All the Smoke podcast, which is co-hosted by, I think, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, two former NBA players, they had none other than former First Lady Michelle Obama and her brother, who have a podcast of their own on it. And they asked Michelle Obama who she thought the GOAT was in the NBA or basketball history. And she said, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Now, that's not too big of a surprise, considering that the Obamas, I don't know if they still are, but for a long time, they've been Chicago natives. I don't know where they live now. I don't really follow them like that. I think they still live in Chicago. But for a long time, they've been Chicago natives. And, when they came of age, they're both born in the 1960s, they're about the same age as Michael Jordan. So it makes absolute sense, being that they saw the greatness that Michael Jordan displayed on the court on a nightly basis. They would come away with the right impression of this question. We all know what Barack thinks, because Barack is the real basketball fan. So at the end of the day, while Barack may be, when asked the question, he may tend to be more diplomatic in how he answers it. But anybody that really watched the two, they know who the better player was. It's no doubt about it. I watched Michael Jordan play from 1990 to the rest of his career. I missed the 80s, which in all actuality was the most athletic aspect of his part of his career. So I didn't even watch him at his athletic best. From 1990 onward, I watched him. And I never seen a player that great. Kobe to me is about as good as Jordan in the last three-peat. That's just my opinion. I think Kobe at his best was a little better than Mike during the last three-peat. But I don't think Kobe at his best was better than Jordan at his best, which was 84 to 93. The Jordan I saw before he retired the first time, I've never seen a player that good, that dominant, that consistent. Never. Never. I'm telling you, if you didn't watch Jordan before the first retirement, you don't know how good he really was. As good as he was in 95, 96, and 97, 98, you clearly saw a declining player. He needed help by that point. You know, like he needed a deeper team. He needed the Tony Kukocs. He needed the Steve Kerrs. He needed the Dennis Rodmans. He needed a Ron Harper who could score when need be in the triangle offense. Whereas before, Jordan could go out there for long stretches of the game, rocking the rim, you know what I'm saying, driving, attacking, dishing at times. He can go out there and drop 47 points or 43 or 47 or 55 in consecutive games and carry the Bulls. But anyway, yeah, that's how I feel about this, man. You know, I just think that it's sad, you know. This whole GOAT thing honestly started after that rigged 2016 series. And, you know, you had all of a sudden LeBron says, this right here makes me the GOAT. And after that, that's when this shit really started. LeBron started this shit. He started the fire. He made that championship, which was a team experience, all about him. See, it's funny, in 2007, when they lost their finals, LeBron fans like to make it all about, well, the team wasn't that good. Just like how when LeBron just got eliminated against Denver again, against Minnesota this past year. Oh, it's 8 other players out on the court. Oh, but when y'all win, you and Luka get all the credit. You don't go out there and give credit to your teammates when you lose, when you win, excuse me. You want all the praise and adulation to yourself. But when you lose, there's 8 other players out there on the court. It's just what doesn't make you a GOAT. Because on leadership, you get a fucking -5 on that intangible right there. And that right there keeps you from being a GOAT because you're not a leader. And that's why people call you a role player, because you got a role player mentality. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.